All right, welcome everybody. Oh shit, I should have checked what episode this is going to be. All right, let's assume this is episode 14. I know it's been a while. Been busy when I was traveling back and forth from Florida and stuff like that. A seminar is basically a week away, and today is what is today? Tuesday, the 7th, roughly about 10:15 a.m. Um, and we're going to talk about a particular subject. So let's just say I think this is episode 14. If I'm off, then look at the numbers and I'll try to align it together. So episode 14. So the other day I was busy, um, I guess, re-examining, re-looking at the entire art in general, starting with the core and stuff like that, and see how I would maybe approach it differently now, the way I have everything set up. So I want to talk about today is going to be about Yichikimima. Okay, we understand. Like let's go over. We already know the basic framework of Yichikima. Stand, right? Basically, when we say Yichikima, we're thinking about finding your center of gravity, understanding your center of gravity, maybe controlling your center of gravity, in the basic layman's terms. So when it's taught, when it's presented to you, I think the way that I want to look at it is a little differently now. Like in day one, you look at it where heels are together, you do the motion, right? Like you find your center, you do the motion, and this develops this, and this. And then this is one move, this is two moves, this is three moves, and this is four moves, okay? The problem is when you look at it, even in development, and I get that the breakdown has to be there, but I think the interpretation of what's happening needs to be fixed because in the larger or bigger spectrum of understanding what Ichikima is, it's understanding maybe the overall theme and concept. It's not so much finding your center of gravity, but the concept involved with controlling the overall center of gravity. Because looking back over the last 20 plus years, 30 years or whatever, how long I've been doing this, the common misconception is with when the force comes in, people feel like it's basically what do we refer to it as GOC, gagging on your cog, right? Gagging on your cog is basically the force comes in, you kind of squeeze. Okay, that's usually not the only way that it happens, but usually what does happen or how it is interpreted. Or if you don't squeeze, you collapse in, you get pinned, or you push out. Okay. But I think that comes about because when you look at it, the development of Yichikima, we're looking at it from a perspective of sectionalizing the motions. So how easy is it for someone to misinterpret that after you find your center of gravity, right? This first motion, right? When we do this, okay, this develops what? Chest in, belly big, feeling the top of the back of the neck, and then the shoulders sink, and that's what you're getting. So if you feel that, you isolate it. But then what happens is once I figure goal number one almost is to the point where it's like freeze framed in, and number two is I tuck in. So the number tuck it when I tuck in, it shoots out the knee and pushes out L4, L5. Okay, and now that we achieved that, this is frame one, this is frame two. These are held in place. Frame three, the knees is opening up. Frame four. So notice like you're sectionalizing one motion, two motion, three motion, four motion, but the main theme that you want to understand is the one for all concept. That means if one moves, everything else moves. How easy is it to misunderstand that when the force comes in, your GOC, gagging on the cog, or you're holding the force. But in actuality, when push comes to shove, if he's moving, you're moving. And by moving doesn't mean I'm going like this to move. I'm basically, when this is here, everything else is moving. But it doesn't seem like it, but it is. So when you look at this development or the overall theme of the center of gravity, you want not to yes, the basic understanding is just like how I explained the punch and stuff like that. But you want to look at it beyond just finding your center of gravity and controlling your center of gravity, but the means and ways to do that. And that would be basically the one for all concept. If one moves, everything else moves. So for example, when we start from the motion of having our feet together, this motion moves, right? Even in here, just this cross motion, it's not just my hands here moving. From this motion here, this is moving, the legs are adjusting, and this moves. When I basically tuck in and bend bend the knees, the top part's moving and adjusting too. When this opens up, this is adjusting, this is adjusting. You feel motion in it and not a hold. Otherwise, you're basically killing the flow. And then we do here and everything from while the legs you have motion, the center of gravity adjusts, and the arms are also adjusting too. So at the end of the day, everything is constantly flowing. One moves, everything moves, one for all, right? As opposed to, have you ever done this where you open up your form or you open up your stance? 1, 2, 3, and you just have to make a little adjustment, or you go 1, 2, 3, and then you adjust your top here. Why? Because it was set for a particular way when you hold a position or you hold a frame from frame 1 to frame 2. But if each one, okay, we're moving, everything's adjusting. 2, this is adjusting, this is adjusting, this is adjusting. 3, again, the center of gravity is adjusting, the hands are adjusting, the neck tension is adjusting. 4, this is opening up, everything's adjusted, and everything settles in at the end. One for all concept. That means everything's always constantly moving. Nothing is isolated to the fact that one dominates the other. Like especially when the move is done, when I catch the bangsa, how often is it the focus is only on the hand? When in its entirety, right? The force may be touching the hand, but the whole body is actually reacting to it. But if you don't understand that concept, you'll be isolating the bong, and you'll be dealing with you'll feel the blunt of the force of the bong. And if you feel the weight of the force of the bong, you'll definitely get pinned. Okay. So this is just a new way I want you guys to approach it. It's not so much how you do it, but how you approach it and think of the concept. The one for all concept for Yichikimi-ma. If you look at the bigger picture, besides just saying find your center of gravity, control your center of gravity, how exactly are you doing it? One for all concept. When one moves, everything moves, and the flow constantly occurs within you. But if one stops or a part of the body isolates, then what happens? You kill the flow, you kill the control, and you kill the unity. All right? Simple enough concept. Let's work on that.